Hello, we're Unavailable Games, and we're showing off our game Summit. I'm Joshua Jewer. I'm the game designer on the project. We have Sebastian, the programmer.
Hello.
We have Tyler, one of the other programmers.
Hello.
Irvin, the environment and tech artist.
Hi.
And Jillian, the 3D model, mainly character artist.
Hello.
So we're just going to show off a walkthrough of our game and just chat about what we did. So Jill, you can press start.
How come only you got a last name?
Yeah, true.
I mean, do you wanna say your
No.
last name? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this first area is just kind of the tutorial area. Tyler made this wonderful UI tutorial.
That's okay.
Do you want to talk about any of the? Oh, Jill skipped it. Jesus Christ.
No,
Yeah.
that was it. That was all of it.
Oh,
was
that's.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess do we want to just talk about like why we made this game? You know,
Yeah, we
like
can start off with that.
like, I mean, because I remember funnily enough, it came up yesterday when we were joking about it, but about like this how it was this. It definitely wasn't Summit at the time, but it was this idea you had over the summer that could be something for Capstone that somehow turned into, being in British Columbia, but it was like some fantasy thing. But
Yeah.
I genuinely can't really remember how we got from that to Summit.
I kind of do. Like, I remember, like, the fantasy game being, way too out of scope. It was, a narrative-based, it was roguelike mechanics, and it wasn't an idea for Capstone, it was an idea for, like, later. But then we started, like, just talking about nature and, how a lot of teams are probably going to make stuff with combat, and how we don't want to do what everyone does, which is just have, like, a boss fight that's subpar. We wanted to have a full game.
Yeah.
Walking around in nature is really appealing.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you guys can talk about like why you wanted to make a nature game.
Well,
Yeah.
Josh, do you want to talk about this note I'm about to pick up?
No, we don't need to talk about we don't need to do like a narrative walkthrough.
Yeah. I think they said to not. I can't remember if I think they said there was basically no instructions, but I think they said it doesn't have to be a walkthrough
Yeah,
per se.
Developer commentary.
Yeah.
Well, I figured you could talk about the development of the
I'll
narrative.
get there at some point.
Yeah.
Let's continue with why everyone wanted to make something.
Yeah.
I mean, as all of our presentations said, we wanted to take a step away from high-action combat. But yeah, I mean, I know that over the summer with the quarantine, like, Josh and I were getting out and more, like, we were hiking and stuff, and so it just seemed like a good fit to make it about being outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I mean, we made a lot of like combat games before, and everything was very metal heavy and hard surface.
Yeah.
Hard surface. And in my personal works, I make a lot of props that are like generally hard surface, and I wanted to explore more of the environmental designs and like just focus on organic stuff and nature in general. That's
Yeah.
kind of like where my motivation came from when it came to making the environment for this game.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting thinking about I never having made a game in nature, which is most of Earth is nature, at least for now. But no, for real though. I mean, I feel like it's a completely reasonable tendency on so many levels for environment design, level design, a lot of kinds of design, really just to go for artificial environments because you get to construct everything. So I guess didn't really think about it at the time, but I guess it kind of almost was a bigger leap than, at least I thought for me personally, of doing a game in nature.
Yeah, personally, I just wanted something easy to do.
Yeah,
I
this
mean-
turned out to be real easy, didn't it?
I mean, we
Oh,
could
I
have
mean-
made a game way easier, like or to
Yeah.
make. I mean, like, like we could have. I don't want to say reduced, but we could have done something like I don't know, super simple.
Didn't change anything. I mean,
Huh.
a lot of the things that I was gonna do was the AI, right? And then it just got cut out, so it was kind of an
Yeah.
easy breeze
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, I mean, I find that like, I guess like for like context of anyone who's listening to this and yeah, I guess never really got outside of the team, but yeah, we plan on having deer, but like, and they would roam around and stuff. But like looking at it now, and I think I've said this before, of like, I think the game would be worse if there
Oh,
were
yeah.
deer. Like it would just be like.
Completely out of place.
Yeah, like, or it would have to be a longer game. Like, we would just have
Oh,
to
yeah.
be a more full game. Like, there wouldn't be any time for the deer to, like, make sense.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the map too, it's kind of small for having actual deer spawn in and everything. You could
Yeah.
go a while without seeing them, and then suddenly you see one.
It would have kind of like straight up just taken you out of the game. If I mean, we could have made it work, but not within the time that we, gave ourselves. Yeah, I don't know if I touched on like why I wanted to do the hiking thing, but like yeah, like Jill and I were out hiking, and it was just like, just finished up playing Death Stranding, and I love the movement in that game. I love like just the doing of nothing, and I figure like every game that does that walking simulator, they kind of most of them shoot themselves in the foot by trying to introduce like mechanics and puzzles and some like combat, and it's just like I haven't personally played a game that just focuses on the actual exploration. Like The Long Dark, it kind of sucks the joy out of it because you're constantly dying in that game. So with everything going on the way it's going on, to me, I just thought it'd be nice to have something where it's just the exploration. And like we still have the survival mechanics, and I think they're strong. They work well. They work well, but they're definitely not intrusive.
Yeah.
Until you're
We're just not gonna talk about the flying tree.
No,
Yeah.
we don't need to worry about flying trees. I mean, have you never seen a tree fly in real life?
I mean, when
They're
they're falling,
indigenous to British Columbia, don't you know?
Yeah, the gravity works different over there.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, at least it's not like in Valheim where you cut down one tree and then it's a fucking avalanche of trees falling down until you're rolled over. I mean,
Yeah, it was a really good opportunity to not have to worry about like,
multiplayer.
well,
Yeah.
not even just multiplayer. Like, oh, we have to have combat or something that's going to keep players coming back. It's like it's our capstone game, so it's like it's literally the first and maybe only opportunity we'll have to make a quote unquote like artistic piece without any
Yeah.
consequences.
yeah, like we get to like it's. I think you're probably right that with the kind of time that we're able to devote to this and get to make something that like means something, at least to us.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really happy with it, how it turned out. I
Yeah.
really like nighttime and seeing the fog. The fog
Yeah.
is an awesome addition.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's still like I'm still kind of, especially because I haven't really seen the game for like a week or two at this point. Like I haven't really looked at it. Just seeing the art, even through like the Discord stream, like it's still like wow. Like I guess we can talk like more about the artists want to talk more about that, but like it really all came together. Like
Yeah.
such
Yeah.
a natural environment.
Well, I can tell you that while I was working on the art, I thought you guys were all lying when you guys said it was good, because every time I looked at it, because I've spent like a good 5 to 10 hours making something, I'm just kind of sick of looking at it. And yeah, it's always nice to have some affirmation from other people you're working with, tell you that it's at least passable, right? But
Yeah.
I guess is there anything in specific that I should talk about with art, like the process behind making it.
Well, you can talk about like anything you want.
Uh, I think like one of the biggest changes or pivots that we had earlier on in the middle of development is like how we decided to make trees, right? Obviously, this is a nature game, so there's going to be a lot of trees, but we kind of pivoted on the location being in British Columbia, and I was just focused on making any trees really in the beginning, so they didn't have any artistic direction, and I essentially had to search up what species there are in British Columbia, which surprise, surprise, they're just mostly made of pines, and I had to change the like well in this like the aesthetics of the trees look very different, but the process behind making them is very similar, and in fact much easier than what I had before because I was using a more procedural way of making trees, so thankfully I didn't have to necessarily remake the entire asset, but I just had to like replace the texture for the trees or for the leaves and distribute like where the leaves would sit on a trunk, and that's essentially how I approached making trees in general with this game.
The
Yeah.
new trees were more optimized too. I remember the old ones. If you put 10 on the screen, the game would like freeze.
Yeah, there were a lot. There are a lot less polygons for the current trees, just because. Well, the way I had them before is just. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, going off of saying, it was an opportunity to do whatever we wanted, also came with kind of the consequence of we didn't have pre-production, and art and pre-production and everything was happening at the exact same time. So, the us settling on BC and what type of trees we wanted and environment happened already after trying like a bunch of stuff out, which I feel bad for doing that to you, but it was just kind of like I don't think there was another way. Like we just had to throw stuff at the wall and see what stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after we nailed down BC and we focused on the pine, that's for me when the art really started to come together.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, like, I remember seeing the pines and being like, "Oh yeah, like this is like kind of in like I see it converging, like the art style."
Yeah. Another interesting note, I guess, is that all these pine trees that you see, they actually have the same texture for the leaves. So like that's one of the things that we did to to more or less optimize like
You can climb up that, Jill, by the way. Like when
the
you were up
project.
there.
I tried.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
that's one of the things we did to like optimize the size of the project and also like the performance because we didn't want to swap from like different types of leaves where we didn't have to, and we just like it just made the entire project easier to manage as a whole. Like
Yeah.
performance, amount of space, and also like people working on it having easier time because there were just less trees. Because before I would literally have like 25 different trees, whereas now it's just 5 trees shared, like or distributed throughout the entire like terrain, right? But it's like it's arranged and it's like resized in a way that it's not as noticeable as that may sound. And it worked out very well because it also makes the environment more or less like homogenized, right? Because it's just literally using the same texture. But it's just, the only thing that's different is the silhouette of the trees, which is enough to sell the fact that they're different.
Yeah. No, I feel like I feel like it's something that we all like know or knew going in, but like I feel like this project one's like at least just solidifies like making stuff like assets, like just making it is like half the battle. Like of just like you can make the thing, but then like optimization, everything, like that was I don't know if it's necessarily equal parts of like actually making it, but it's kind of inseparable from the act of making it.
Yeah. I mean, if we were to do it all over again, yeah, we would definitely spent way more time nailing the design and really the aesthetics, because at the beginning, well, actually during the entire thing, we all had our tasks, and we had 2 people on everything except for design. And
Yeah.
it was just like, you know, I felt like I couldn't personally give enough to any one person, which was, I guess, like the only part of the project that like really stressed me out was like every time I worked on something, someone was asking me something different. I was like, like I wish I thought about that earlier, because
Yeah.
like then it would make your life easier, right? But you know, I still think despite everything, this really worked out, and it'll be a project to be happy with for quite some time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like, because I remember saying before about how I, like, genuinely didn't, like, not like I have amnesia, just, like, it's hard to recall certain things. Like, when we were talking about postmortem content or just thoughts in general, I remember really having a hard time thinking, it's like, I can't remember a time where it wasn't technical problems, like me like running at a brick wall trying to get climbing to work, but that, like, in some ways, like, that's, I don't want to say that doesn't count, but it's a very different character of postmortem things, because I don't really think it's something like I could have done better, because the solution would be get better at coding, lol, because you know, like, we already did the correct solution, which was just come up with the design workaround. So, but I'm thinking back to like the design, and it's like I would, once again, this take forever to say one thing, but but yeah, I think kind of that there was like that point in like October, November, where I feel like kind of you were almost left high and dry design, just having to like kind of put down fires, than what you're describing, of like you're kind of just going back and forth a lot, and it was still like kind
It was
of
the classic, you know, one day spent with Sebastian, the next day spent with Tyler, the next day spent like with like Jill and Irvin. It was just a classic, you know. I had to spend a day with just about everyone, which is like not the problem at all. It's just like, you know, getting late, and then poor Tyler's working on it. He's like, wait, what is this supposed to be? What's going on here?
Yeah, it led to a lot of like pauses and like some kind of unnecessary work. So, but I think that one was, I can't remember at that time, we were still kind of unsure about exactly what you do. Like not sorry, not I guess about interactions. Like we knew that we like kind of wanted the survival light, but like had we settled on the summit climbing like at that time, like in November?
No, I don't think we did yet. Because
no, not in November. We didn't know it was going to be summit at all. We knew that in November we knew that you would exist in like nature. We wanted to cut down trees. We were thinking about building stuff. I think November is actually around when we had that call, and we were just like, I called you guys. I was like, what if we just cut all of the building stuff? What if we cut not having to make ropes and ladders and, you know, all of that stuff, and we just focused on purely what the player is on the player? I think that was November.
Yeah.
I don't think it was until maybe early December, or maybe it was the end of November when, you know, the whole summit thing came together. Because it was like between 2 or 3 weeks where we chose that, okay, the end goal is going to be looking like getting to the top of this mountain, right? And then it was not so long after that, like maybe a week or two, where it's like, oh, let's just call it summit, because that's the whole thing. That's going to be the, like, that's when it really solidified, okay, that is the goal of the game.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely, like, I mean, that was, I feel like, that's kind of pivotal, was like when it was summit, and then kind of everything, because then even like the narrative, before the narrative was even put in or specifically written, that structure was kind of like kind of game changing in some ways.
Yeah.
There's still remnants of some of the things we were thinking about, like the campfire building. There's technically
Yeah.
a camera in there that you can place down, but took that out.
I think that like a super like kind of in the like almost fan fiction version of the game that I could have in my head, there would still be all like the we'd still somehow find a way to get freeform climbing in and like interesting little structures in like like
I don't know
and have
how
it all
much of
work
that
in.
would have like added to it. The freeform climbing for sure. I think that could have been something that we worked out. But I think like not like restricting ourselves a lot turned this into a more cohesive game overall. Like
Yeah.
the fact that we're not building ladders and stuff allows the player to just focus on moving around, right?
Yeah, I guess that's why I say the fan fiction, because it's almost like
Yeah.
it wouldn't that's not it's kind of it would only it's only something that could be done in that realm of like purely exploratory, like because I don't think it would make the game better strictly. So yeah, I don't know.
See if,
I was thinking about if Joe wanted to talk about the character, because I was just thinking about things which have been around for a while in Summit. I realized like the character's been like he's definitely changed, but he's been, I say he's like that was one of the original. I also remember that one of the original things is that
Mhm.
I guess they're canonically not any gender because we never specify, but regardless, he's the little dude. That's canonically what we call him. But like I feel like he's been pretty steady. Like I feel like Jill, you got him down pretty early.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a character artist. Let me just put that out there. I only did like 2 concepts for him, and I think that we decided on one of them pretty early and just as small changes from there. But yeah, it was definitely a process learning to like rig and do the proper topology to make sure that the rig would work properly with all the joints and stuff. And yeah, even now there are still like minor weight paint issues with the character, but I think overall, the process of being able to get the character into a solid like state early on made my job a lot easier. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I remember you got him rigged. It felt like really early, and that was huge. It was just being able to like play around without a test model or test rig. Like kind of almost like it was temp, but getting in those kind of metrics in super early. Like that was huge. It made like I'm not like didn't make a single animation, but like implementing animations like really seamless. Like that was kind of huge.
Man,
Getting like screenshots better too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Looking back at that first test level that we ever had with the asset pack, the little like Mixamo guy, I think it was
Yeah.
from Mixamo. That I didn't realize how much that actually did for us. Like it gave us scale, which I think, one of my personal things that came out of this was trying not to make everything too big. And I still think some of this stuff is a little too big, but that just might be me staring at it for a super long time. That first scene kind of helps, like, oh, okay, so this character is going to be X units tall, the trees should be about this height, the play area should be about this big, and then even after that, like, I made it smaller and smaller and smaller. But like that, I think that's helped solidify, oh, this is the character we're going for. Because we always kind of wanted something cartoony and shorter looking, but we also didn't want it to look like a child, right?
Yeah.
How big was the map originally going to be again? It's pretty big, right?
So the map, like, when originally do you mean?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
we have
this
plans to have swamps and like different
Yeah.
areas. but,
Yeah.
we I
We had
think
different
we
biomes.
we condense it down to was it 3 or 2 areas now? I think it's 3, right?
It's
And,
3
okay,
technically, yeah,
yeah, and it's
depending on
like,
how you want to look at it.
but,
Yeah, like the physical size of the map, you know, just a few iterations ago, was maybe an additional third of the current size, maybe even an additional. Yeah, I felt like the lower forest area was probably like a third larger than what it is now. Yeah, so the character was in a pretty good
Yeah.
place. I think from the get-go, like after doing the scaling, and then Jill did the first pass, it was exactly that, you know, mix of old, because we didn't know what year we wanted this to be, but we wanted to look somewhat old, and you know, cartoony.
Yeah, I feel like the year, like, that ended up working, we're, like, kind of, I don't want to say surprisingly well, because, you know, why was there any reason, like, you know, no reason in particular to doubt that it would, but I think that, like, we didn't kind of overly commit ourselves to doing something like, you know, specific history, but we definitely got a feel of a time.
Yeah.
But once again, without kind of inviting, you know, historical misrepresentation. I feel like kind of that good balance of like there's a vibe, but there's nothing kind of we didn't overcommit to it.
The only indication that you get of the year is the mention of a gold rush. You're not like, I don't even think the player ever sees in the game that they're in BC. But us solidifying that ecosystem and that year, yeah, I think you're right. Like, you know, I was able to watch Jill make all of these, the scenery, like the cabin and the outhouse that we're looking at now, and she just looked at stuff from that era, and it helped us. It helped the whole thing come together.
Yeah.
You know, like, at least for, maybe it didn't do too much for Irvin, because it's just kind of like, you know, trees are always going to be trees. But like, definitely looking at Jill's stuff, I could see that it worked out.
Yeah.
well, there were the fences.
Yeah, the oh yeah, you did the fences. I'm sorry, I don't want to
Yeah.
misrepresent what you.
You're right for the most part. The grass is going to be grass, rocks are going to be rocks, and so are trees, right? So nature doesn't really change all that much within the span of 50 years,
Yeah.
or even hundreds.
It only decreases because of man.
Yeah.
I guess like I want to propose a question. If we all had, and we'll go around. If we all had like an extra month on this, or maybe even an extra 2 months, what would each of you want to do to it?
Fix inventory.
I mean, fair.
I mean, it's probably a far shot from where we are, but like, I would like to add animals and stuff. But,
Like hunting in animals? Or
well,
just
if it's just an extra month, then I don't know if there's time for animals. But I don't know, just like, I don't know, adding stuff to fill out the area more.
Voids.
Voids, yeah, getting some birds in there would be.
No, like
Yeah.
voids. Like,
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I gotcha.
okay.
More fishing.
Oh, fishing.
Oh, there could have been like a fish in the lake.
So, what about you, Tyler?
Voids.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I know what I would do if you want to think about it more, Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, funnily enough, it's not really too far off from what Tyler said originally, almost kind of jokingly, of fixing the inventory. What do you mean fixing the inventory? But I really think that, like, I don't think that we've made any mistake kind of doing how much we've done so far, but I think smoothing over just kind of another pass over smoothing edges would, like, kind of rough edges of the game, that would really be all, like, at least for me. Like, once again, I don't think we've left it in a negligent state or even a bad state, just, you know, another pass, because I think that the design that we have right now really works.
Yeah.
Probably just be polishing it up.
Yeah.
I mean, if we made the voids, then we could just add those in. But I don't think we added hunting.
Yeah, but I think like environmental animals, I think that would like definitely like that kind of polishing in some ways. Like,
yeah. There's technically sound effects that are playing, but because the character runs so fast, he leaves them behind, so no one really hears them. I don't actually know if they're playing either, so they might not be playing at all.
Wait, what sound? Like animal sound effects?
Yeah, there's like birds chirping and crickets, but I might have disabled that or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for me, like, optimization to kind of get it to a... I would have liked maybe parts to be a little bit more dense, or just, like, be able to have more areas. Because, like, I think the level design for what this is works out well. Like, it works out really well. There's not too much, not too little. But if our goal was to expand the game, I think optimizing everything so that we can have more stuff on screen at once kind of would have helped to just, I don't know, like give more per like frame. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just because I think the game looks great, and the only thing that it has working against it is there's times where it's just like it feels a little empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birds and kind of like almost like just for aesthetic animals, I feel like could add that motion and stuff. That would be interesting. And or even more trees and stuff. Also, I realize I haven't heard the Summit Climb theme in game yet. It's kind of sick. I mean,
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
the theme is awesome. I got stuck in like fixing that area just because I loved the mood and the feel.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Shout out to our music people.
Yeah.
They took our nonsense, which is only like typically we always think only we understand what we're saying, but you know it really came through, and they made something really cool for us.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if they just didn't take in what we said and then just made their own thing, but it worked.
Yeah,
out.
they just kept on looking at the game and they're like, I think this is what they want. This is what I would want.
I mean,
Yeah.
the like, you know, the dynamic music. I mean, that stuff, and like, I mean, that's so sick in like any game, but it's just really cool that we kind of got to have something like that in ours.
It was surprisingly easy to implement too. I thought it'd be a lot harder.
Yeah.
Zooming towards the bug me.
Pretend it's not there.
Yeah, those
just-
sticks aren't real.
Ignore. Oh.
You know, I'm just gonna listen to the Summit soundtrack.
Yeah. Put it on a playlist.
Yeah, Devin, this is really good.
On Spotify.
Yeah.
But you won't get the dynamic parts.
Yeah. I mean that. Yeah, like I mean that's just like a big problem with like video game music in general on Spotify.
I mean, what can you do, right? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, there's a note.
actually, no. This is a commentary. I don't want to veer off and talk about other games too much.
Yeah. I guess like now that there's another note, I guess like do we want to talk more about like the story? Because it was there at the beginning.
Yeah, sure. I think like all of us went into this project kind of knowing that we're not. We weren't so worried about making something that would be amazing for a portfolio. Like I think looking at how most people approach Capstone. Most people focus on trying to make something that they think is going to get them a job, and looking at other people coming into the program or leaving the program, we realize like, oh, it's mostly the experience and just the time that you put in outside of school that makes you a better candidate for a job. So at least I approach this game looking at it more as, okay, like we said before, this is the perfect opportunity to make the art piece, like the thing that's going to, like, no money relies on this other than what we put into school. But like, you know, like my career isn't hinging on this game, so I'm gonna make the most of what I can of it.
Yeah.
So, and it being like our final year and COVID happening, it really did feel like we were climbing this freaking mountain, like this metaphoric mountain, and that like actually materialized in this game.
Yeah.
The whole narrative. There's a secret narrative of like this other person that moved through this valley, and you know, basically they gave up what was good to accomplish a goal that they didn't necessarily need to. And when you arrive, when the player arrives, it's supposed to be this metaphoric representation of you achieving your goals and finding purpose. And I think, you know, with Summit, when I was trying to make this narrative, I was trying to make it like resemble our own situation. And I think for the most part it worked out. Wait, what is she trying to do right now?
I'm
Look
waiting
to the
for
left.
stamina. The left?
Oh, you're waiting for stamina?
Yeah, because I don't have any green berries.
Well, you have quite a bit of health. You can get up that climb. You don't have to jump.
I know, I just got stuck.
Oh wait.
See? There you go.
Hey.
But yeah, so the narrative, you know. Oh, here's our beautiful credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The credits actually look super sick. Hey, that's me.
Yeah, we didn't rip off any other game at all with the credits. Our egos definitely didn't do that.
Oh, hey, come on, it's
Look at the
pretty
lake.
cool.
Look at the lake real quick.
Yeah.
To the left. Oh,
Hey, that's pretty sick.
and our music theme.
You're just sweating during
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, you might not.
Oh, and she's gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
But yeah, so like, you know, the first pass of the narrative was just pretty depressing because it is this story about some character that didn't do what they wanted to do necessarily. But you know, without giving everything away and focusing too heavy on the story, like I think it got into a spot where everything was contextualized and it makes sense. Like no one deserves a bad ending, but you know, the goals that you make and how you go about them is what determines, like, you kind of create your own path, kind of thing, right?
Speaking of bad ends.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Speaking of endings, oh boy. Oh, we don't need to read through this though.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to play the game. Go buy Summit now for
Yeah, go
$0
for-
on the Shut.io.
Maybe wait like a day or two after hearing.
Yeah.
But yeah. How much time do we have left? Jill, how long have we been running?
Well, we're at 45 minutes right now. Or
Yeah.
43 minutes.
Probably about 5 minutes, so we can talk a little bit more. So is there anything else, like anyone else want to talk about their experience or how they feel about how the project turned out?
Well, I think going back to your point where it's like, we made this game not looking for a job. I think that actually helped out in the end because then we have a product that's more accessible to anything people actually work with. Whereas if we were to make it a portfolio piece with focus on portfolio, probably would have made a combat game that looks just like any other student game.
Yeah.
I think, you know, Yeah, making it like trying not to make something thinking of the portfolio piece turn it into a good portfolio piece.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the best way for a lot of stuff is just to like not think about it too hard, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you look at most of our games, that is kind of the mindset we went in with.
Trying to make something good for a portfolio.
No, like that. Well, I guess kind of, but for our better games, we just went in just have fun.
Yeah.
That's my dog. We should show off the other beauty of this game before we finish it. It's back at the beginning.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go to the lockbox real quick. Because I got the key.
Oh yeah.
The nice sound that I spent like 10 minutes trying to find, that's only used once.
Really?
Well, I couldn't find anything online that sounded how I wanted it to sound. So I went outside for a little bit and went around looking for things. I was like, hey, this little wood pallet would work. And just smashed it a little bit.
Well, how about you, Irvin and Sebastian? My previous question.
About
How do you feel? Any other like additional thoughts that you've had that you didn't share yet?
not really. No.
Well, I mean, I feel pretty great too.
Yeah.
Really, just looking at this and seeing how much better it could be. To think of ways to improve it on a technical way, but I don't imagine that's something that could be gone over in the span of like 5 minutes or something. Too
A lot.
much.
It needs a lot of
It
polishing.
needs a lot of polish, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how Irvin and I were like able to keep our stuff pretty visually consistent. I think everything like fits really well together. But going back about like talking about the deers and like when we were originally gonna have like hunting in the game, is like having no one like as like a really designated character artist made it difficult because like, you know, while it was pretty quick to get the character rigged, getting a quadruped rigged and like getting animations for that was going to be a whole different story. So that was just another roadblock for us for adding like animals into the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think one of the major roadblocks for art in general is that we didn't really have a designated concept artist, so we more or less winged everything ourselves, and we tried to make it consistent by having mood boards in the beginning, and that worked like decently. But I feel like with the help of a concept artist, or if we had spent more time ideating on paper or with 2D sketches, it may have turned out better than what it is now. Not to say that this doesn't look good or anything. It's just I think that having that initial sketch or inspiration that is like dedicated to this game would have really helped because it would have solidified the aesthetic a lot more, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Here's one of the birds.
Yeah.
I think like the big thing about it, or the thing that I feel the most about when we talk about scope, additional time spent on other places and stuff, is like I don't think any for the team that we had and the time that we also had, I think we did everything to the best of our ability. Like we couldn't spend any more time anywhere. It would either have to be additional time on the project or additional hands on deck. Like I really am like, you know, quite proud of what we were able to do in the time that we did and how we spent most of our time. I can maybe think of like one or two things where it's like, oh, that took longer than it needed to, but it was almost necessary because you had to learn that. You had to work on it so long to learn that, okay, it's not gonna be worth it, right? But for the time that we had and the people that we had and everything that we did, like it, like I look at it and I'm still shocked. I'm like, hey, this has a close to it. Like this game has an end.
It's 500 views on Itch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing really good on Itch. you know, I think it's fair to say for like this video, like it's also helped us outside of school a bit. Like it's helped us get some more eyes on all of us, or at least most of us, depending on how we're pitching ourselves, right? But yeah, like it's. I would say it's a success for what it is. Right?
Yeah.
Where's that other Easter egg again?
Go through the caves.
Yeah.
Turn right, and then you're gonna have to drop it back down off the side of the mountain.
A
Oh,
little.
it's spooky dark.
Because going up there isn't really necessary, but you know, it's fun for the Easter egg.
That time of day is my favorite color grading for the daytimes and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the time of day stuff in this game. Like it looks so good. It's such a natural
Man.
progression.
Like
Yeah, that shit
afternoon
really
and morning. Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, so just drop off this face right here. Yeah, you're gonna have to commit Sudoku.
Wait, right here?
No, I
Yeah.
won't kill you.
Well, because you're not necessarily supposed to go back.
Okay.
But yeah, up this hill to the right.
Did I have to go? Oh yeah.
No, you're there.
No, I was just wondering.
To the right. No.
I'm going.
Back?
Go
No,
back.
you've
Oh,
missed it.
I missed it. There's nothing.
If you ever
It's an Easter egg. You gotta.
Chavi found it on his first.
Almost.
Hey.
There you
There
go.
he is.
Or
It looks like with the torch, it looks like some freaking ancient
Yeah.
tome.
I wish like we
Obelisk.
made a song out of the barking that you have in this game, for like, and there was a volume when you
Yeah.
enter like it's like a Jorge song.
Yeah.
It's a biblically accurate angel.
But yeah, I guess to wrap this up, you know, like the last thing that I really want to put forward is I'm proud of all you guys. I'm proud of us. I think, you know, Jill, all of your models look amazing. The textures really brought everything together.
Thank you.
Irvin, like I love the environment. I like your dedication to like making everything over again to be where it is now. Sebastian, I think the character controller is really good, and I think, you know, I personally am a huge fan of the graphics suite. That's the biggest thing that I like out of the character controls. And Tyler just, you know, MVP all the time, burning the midnight oil, dealing with me all the time, just getting, like, doing the things that none of us even think of doing, because that's just how Tyler works. He ties things together all the time, so
Yeah.
good job, everybody.
I would say
I've never spent it for 12 hours.
I mean, that makes it more impressive.
Yeah. Hey, and you too, Josh, for like, you know, bringing it all into a space, kind of doing the design work that at least I know I didn't want to do a lot of the times, and just kind of running with it and putting that time in. I think at some points kind of tying it all together, like, I think it,
Thanks.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, to be real, like, yeah, Josh was the one that brought the idea to the table, and I think we all did our part in making this game, you know, good, solid game, and I'm pretty proud of our team.
Yeah, no, I am too. I think once again, I would repeat the stuff. Josh, you put it really well for everybody and what they did. And I guess that's kind of the last thing I have to say is that yeah, I'm proud as well.
Side note, how do I get Tinder?
Tinder?
Yeah.
You
Download
you
it.
go on the
Oh my
Google
God.
Play
Got
Store.
him.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Tinder,
Good lord.
You get it from thorn bushes and berry bushes.
I
but-
haven't
No,
been
no,
getting
you
it
don't.
from
You get it from
Oh, wood. Cut
Wood,
wood. Yeah. See, even I can be pretty stupid when it comes to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should end the video around here.
Well, I want to make
Make the
a
campfire.
campfire first, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Show off one more thing.
Mhm. Do I
One last ride.
do I need
But wait, there's more.
do I need an axe to cut the wood, or can
No.
I use a knife?
You can use a knife, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, Raph, anyone watching this,
Raph, Chris, Wojtek, whoever it may be.
play this game. If
Oh,
you
Wojtek,
get time. Oh, if you don't, yeah, we didn't make the map.
Oh yeah.
We don't own Macs. Wojtek, maybe invest in a PC if you can. If not
And-
for this game, for like every other reason.
Yeah, and our Mac farm, our Mac build farm is currently in exams right now, so we can't really
Yeah.
bug him. So we're kind of out of luck.
Whipped that horse a little too hard.
Yeah. I just want to like hilarious stuff. We thankfully do have a way to make Mac builds, except it's like we just have to like it's like a sentient build farm that like has a schedule and whatnot that we have to like bug. But yeah.
There's our campfire.
It split up before the flame was there. That's okay.
Oh, Jill, show sleeping.
Sleeping. Okay.
Yeah, rest of the campfire.
You can cut
Yeah.
too, but no, there's nothing to cut. Oh, there was something broken there.
Oh.
Well, thank you for.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Oh wait, go to sleep. Go to
I
sleep.
can't
You have to-
interact with it anymore.
You have to walk out and then walk back in.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
No, that's nothing.
Yeah, do like.
Uh-huh.
She has to remake it if we want.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
true.
right.
Don't bother with it. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, ending the video for the third time.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, the fire went out.
Jill
Yeah.
in the video.